I met a gypsy.
We have an American team in MotoGP now
with no American rider.
With no American rider. That's a whole can of worms. I don't. That's one I've spoken about and thought about a lot. But they have a very successful NASCAR team that has big money.
Justin Marks is a fucking G, dude.
Well, but how is he not able to peel a NASCAR sponsor off? The MotoGP team has almost no sponsors. That has a Gulf oil sticker on it this year, and then
pull up Trackhouse 2025. No.
I'm gonna do a roast here in a second.
No, hey, this is all out of love and kindness and respect. Hey, go that way. You're creeping.
First,
the color.
Well,
as a designer,
click on that. Okay, leave it right here. Leave it right here. This kills me in a way because I'm such a big fan and I love this. And to see an American team on the grid, amazing. This is their 2025 livery. You can split hairs on the design of the bike or whatever. Look at the white sheeting on the ground that's bunched and like, bro.
You could Photoshop that.
Or you could just not have it be. But also, if you zoom in on this, and I don't know if you can.
Yeah, we can. Griff's got you.
Okay, so go up a little higher. So, okay, there's a seam. See where the Trackhouse logo is on the side? Mm-hmm. See that seam between the fairings?
Yeah.
So they put vinyl over the previous, some fairings, and you can see the fairing bolt is under the vinyl. So it's just, this looks like a club racer inherited $1 million and bought a MotoGP bike. Sorry, that's a...
Hey,
sorry, Justin.
No. Look, it's all love.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes criticism comes from a place of love.
And hey, I think that it's not an easy proposition what they're trying to do.
No,
it's not.
And it's year 2.
Joe Roberts was on here yesterday.
Yeah,
they did not put him on the bike. And
crazy.
Did he talk about it?
Yeah. What's your take?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the situation. I don't know how much Aprilia said, here's who's riding your bike.
Yes, for sure.
I don't know if that was it. And then you could split hairs on that too, because it's not just about who sits on the bike. It's like, what money do they bring? Because personal sponsors often,
contribute.
Yes. And yeah, I think even if you walk away from who's better rider as an American team, to put an American on the bike for 1 year, that would have a bigger result. Park the results. That would be a bigger story. And when they launched and they have 2 guys sitting on a Star-Spangled bike, it was cool at first when it was like a Nicky Hayden riff of his old Ducati livery. But then they changed it and it wasn't as cool, and it's still this like American flag bike with the Portuguese kid and a Spanish kid. Like, cool, I get it. You got to get the right riders to do the job, but also, they're not breaking down the walls of the championship. It's tricky.
And what a crazy opportunity. You actually have an American rider, good looking.
I was just going to bring
like,
he was just, yeah.
He's a fucking good looking kid.
He is.
He's so cool. Like, I am going to try and be his friend.
Yeah.
I met him yesterday.
Yeah.
Going to be his friend from now on. What a fucking nice...
Totally.
Such an
interesting
nice guy.
Story too.
Super cool.
Interesting story. He's done a lot. He had the opportunity to get on Aprilia when Aprilia was shit. And I think kind of wisely didn't. He didn't want to do it. It didn't seem right. And he might have done it, and that might have been it after 1 year for him. And he wouldn't even be in the championship. Who knows? But I think that them not doing it, and this is completely outsider point of view, but like, That would have been.
Well, you're an American fan.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's a fairly legitimate point of view.
Yeah, for sure. And that, to think about what that would have done for Austin to go to that race, because Joe did really good in that race and people were losing it. And there's not a million people at that race, There's, that gets back into what we were talking about. It's like, well, there's only one race in the US. So, how do you expect to build on that? It's a tricky proposition to get people to just tune in, chuck $100 into the air to pay for a paywall
one time.
Yeah,
for one US race.
Well, or you can't expect them to want to watch a whole series. You might get them to want to go to a race, but how can there be another race? The F1 gets to go race in the middle of cities. You know, the tricky thing with the US is they're building some world-class venues right now, but in the middle of nowhere. How do you get someone to want to go there? Or, how it's tricky. You can't just set shit up in a metropolitan area that kind of that does the fact that it's Austin and you go spend your time in the city after you're at the race all day. You can build on that, and I think they maybe don't do the best job of that. They should. Have you been there for the race? All those kind of grassy hills and stuff kind of before the straight, they should just let anyone who wants to come not pay any money and come hang out and sit in the grass. They're going to spend money on food. They're going to,
this is great. This is honestly great. Like,
this is like that's the kind of thing where if, I think that certain races, Mugello suffered from the first year of Valentino wasn't at the race. The tickets were really expensive, and there was a huge drop off of attendance. And then the following year, they lowered the prices. And there's certain places, I think Assen and maybe a couple other rounds, where they're like, anyone under 16 free. There's things that you can do that are like not rocket science. But again, this is a financial endeavor. Of course, there's going to be these, and it depends on the venue to kind of
play ball,
figure out what those things are going to be, price wise. But I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, the Joe Roberts thing hurts me, especially after, like talking to him yesterday and just the story and how cool of a dude he is and how passionate that he was and how close he thought he was to getting that ride as well. Yeah. And it sounds like it kind of derailed his championship in a way. Yeah. Because he kind of just like put a lot of focus and attention into getting that ride. But I mean, just you've got a young, good-looking, fast as fuck American rider. The only one. He's the only one. And they're the only one.
And timeline-wise, too,
and it just lined up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, all those kids that are professional racers were on top of having to perform in this insane way. They're always having to think about not even before mid-season, shit, what am I doing next year? So exactly what you just brought up, him doing so well and then having this question mark looming of maybe finally making the step and then having an injury, then it all kind of didn't go great.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.